Hi, welcome to our first Tessitura Pro tutorial. Let's load the Patterns panel here. There's an ascending C scale. Let's listen. So the pattern is just one step going up. It loops the rhythmic pattern shown here. So it is currently playing eighth notes. So we can change the rhythmic pattern in the editor here. Let's add 2/16 and listen. I'll change it to just 1/16 note. I can change to the next key in the circle and then practice the F ionian. I could also limit the range or change the transposition if I'm playing other instruments. Okay, so now I have the pattern using only 2 octaves. If you enable the inversion, then the pattern will be inverted at the end. Now I have the scale ascending and descending. If you want to practice the major scale in all keys over the circle of fifths, enable the Next Key Auto button here. If you want to practice all the modes of the Ionian in the current key, then you can enable the Next Mode Auto button here. Enable both auto buttons to practice all the modes of the Ionian in all the keys, which is quite a workout. If you are more advanced, then you might try practicing different step-skip patterns. For example, let's change this step-up pattern by a skip-up pattern. Now you can practice the scale by thirds. Listen. You can create any pattern to practice the current structure in all keys and modes. So, if I use 6 up and 5 down, I create an ascending pattern by sevenths. Tessitura Pro comes loaded with plenty of useful patterns, ostinatos, ascending ladders, hand-in exercises, etc. Let's load hand-in number 1. Let's practice it in A mixolydian. What about in G harmonic minor? This is, of course, endless. You may also try random patterns, which are also very useful to get ideas for motives in composition and improvisation. let's add some rhythmic pattern to it. I can also hear it in any key I want, or any mode, or structure. A modern composer would probably use something like the Messiaen Inverse 3 truncated mode. Listen. Okay, let's go back to the C major Ionian. Let's try the pattern labeled Ascending 3-Note Arpeggios for Scales. You can make this pattern much more interesting by adding approach notes. If you want an ascending chromatic approach to the first note of the pattern, tap on this button. Now the first note in the sequence is preceded by a chromatic approach from below. If you want every note with an approach, just enable the button here. So that creates a pattern in C major with lots of outside notes. Okay, enough with patterns. Let's look at the last panel, substructures. Here you can investigate structures that are contained within other structures. Load the major triad as a substructure. Thanks for watching our Tessitura Pro tutorial by MDEX Music, and don't forget to subscribe.